Hey there, it's good to see you guys again. Today we're starting the foundation of my RAG project. And this is a part that turns clinical PDFs into clean, traceable knowledge my AI can use. So this is my first workbook of many workbooks, and it's going to consist of various cells. And this is the ingestion only. So workbook 1 takes PDFs and converts them into structured, queryable knowledge. All right. So what we do is we extract page text, split it into token-sized chunks aligned to how LLMs read text, and write the results to Delta tables. We also maintain a document registry so we know what happens to every file, and a failure table so errors are observable and reruns are safe. For me, whenever I start a project, I like to put in information, or what I would call a project identity. That way, anybody who sees this can say, oh, okay, this is what's going on. This is what this project is. You don't have to, but that's just something that I'm accustomed to doing, just because when I leave somewhere, or for me, if I forget what I'm doing, it's right there. So our cell 1 or cell 2 is pretty much a dependency setup. For this next step, we pretty much want to ensure that the newly installed packages are loaded in and active within Python. So from what I understand, it is one of the best practices to do it after we do this thing is restart Python environment so the imports work reliably. All right, so the purpose of this is to keep imports in one place so debugging and onboarding are sort of easier. I like to keep it all centralized and not bring it in at different parts of my code. I've seen coders actually do this where it would be like a few notches down. I don't want to say notches, but like it would be all the way down, then there'd be one library and then another. I like to keep it all together. And so what I'm going to do here is break it up into categories. So the first category is file handling and runtime. So OS, what that import does is it scans directories, builds file paths to PDFs. The second one, the import time. That one's measure runtime and performance of ingestion steps. For the next category, category 2, it is text cleanup and identifiers. So the import RE normalizes text like white space and cleanup patterns. The import hashlib, that one creates fingerprints for documents and chunks. Think about as dedupe and traceability. Then the UUID, that one is a unique IDs for runs and failures events. Category 3 is structure and clarity. So the data class is pretty much going to build a config object. Then typing will make intent explicit. So we have the list and the tuple. I hope I pronounced that right. If it didn't, please forgive me. So refactors are safer. Next, we have category 5, which is time correctness. And this one, I believe, is self-explanatory, but you can ask me questions because I do love questions. And it's date and time zone, which is consistent timestamps for logs and tables. Next, we have category 5, which is PDF ingestion and token brain. So the PYPDF, that's an extract text page by page. Then we have the transformers auto tokenizer, which that one counts tokens so chunks align to LLM limits. All right, so category 6 is Spark and explicit schema control. So the PySpark SQL functions as F, which is transformations and column logic. Now the PySpark's SQL type, that enforces schemas so tables stay stable over time. All right. So from the imports alone, we can predict the pipeline, scan files, parse PDFs, chunk text by tokens, and write structured outputs to Delta tables. And pretty much centralizing imports reduces friction. So if something breaks, you can check one cell first. All right, in this next section, I made pretty much a beginner glossary. So we're going to go over these. a token, a unit of text that the model reads. Next, chunk, a small slice of a document that is sized for retrieval and model input. A delta table, a reliable table format with transactions in history, ideal for pipelines I rerun. Idempotent, it pretty much is safe to rerun without duplicating data, so reruns should not create duplicates. Hash, pretty much you could think about it as a fingerprint. So a small text changes produce a different hash, so enabling dedupe and change detection. So it's literally like a fingerprint, and every time the content changes. Lastly, we have the change data feed. So this is a Delta feature that tracks row level changes over time, and it's pretty useful for syncing downstream systems. Now, if you watched the video up to this part, highly suggest you follow and subscribe, mostly because I'm still learning and you pretty much get to see my progress as I go, but not only that, learn from the mistakes that I'm making, and maybe you'll pick up something. Who knows? But the next feature that we're going to go into is cell 5, which that one is the config and how I do configurations. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.